Hey y'all, so I'm Nikki,
I'm Katiana.
and today we wanted to start a trend on Instagram, basically called Get to Know Your Artist. So this is just for anybody in the artistic field. You could be a hairstylist, a barber, a makeup artist, a fashion designer, a stylist for just any type of artistic tattoo. Tattoo shop owners, tattooists, anybody who is in this field, just tell your story. This is not just gonna be limited to us, but this is what we wanted to focus on. Just people in the artistic field, photographers, and all that. So please, we want to hear your stories. We're gonna start this and put our our stories, in front of you guys, and we're very like closed up people, but we wanted to open up and really share what we've been through to get where we are today. So there are 5 questions, and we're going to go ahead and answer them so you guys could get the true feel of us. Ready?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
So the first question is, basically, we want to give a brief summary of us. So where we're from, what we're about, and just, little characteristics that we have that many of our, clients already know. But if you guys have never been to a salon, then you don't know who really Nikki and Katiana are. Okay, so I'm gonna start with myself. So my nickname is Nikki. I will not be telling my real name. I am living in Montreal, of course, and I moved to Montreal when I was almost 17. I lived in Miami before. I basically grew up in the US. I was born in Haiti, but I left Haiti when I was 2 years old. So that's why I speak mostly English. French is still iffy for me, but yeah. So I moved to Canada when I was almost 17, and I have been learning French ever since. About me, I am funny, I guess. I talk a lot once you get to know me. If not, I'm pretty closed up as a person. Some people may think I'm shy. I can be very shy, but I do love getting to know people. I love to be around people, especially people that I love. And that's it. How about you?
Oh God. Well, a lot of people think that we met in Florida because I also grew up in Florida. So came to Montreal in 2009. I was born in Haiti, and all my schooling, all of that was done in Florida. So when I moved here, I decided to stay, although it's really cold. I've packed my bag several times to go back, but I'm still here. So about me, people say that I'm funny, so I'm not really sure. Maybe some of you guys may tell me yes or no. I do like to talk, so I don't shut up. Besides that, I like to read. I like to do a lot of nature stuff, related stuff. So I like the park, going to the beach. There's no beach here, so that I do miss. I like to go camping, surprisingly, and I have not gone camping with any of my colleagues because some people don't want to go camping with me. They don't like my style.
You will not catch me in the woods at any time, okay?
I don't know why. It's very refreshing, but I'm working on her. Besides that, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Yes.
So, second question for you, ma'am. What is your talent? How and when did you discover your talent?
Okay, so my talent. I specialize in extensions. I started doing my own hair when I was about like 6 or 7, and the story behind that, the first time I did my own hair, it wasn't because I was trying to do something, basically it was picture day. I went to school and I decided my mom just did not do a good job on my hair. So when I got back home and she saw my hair was different, she asked me, like, why does your hair look like that? And I told her it's because I went to school and the teacher told me that my hair was ugly. So she redid my hair. So I'm like, yeah, my teacher decided to redo my hair. Long story short, I got a whooping. But that never stopped me from trying to always do my hair, because I was always my mom's toughest critic. I always felt like whatever she did on my head was just never good enough, you know? But anyways, when I was about 9 or 10, that's when I really started getting into hair. Like, I did my hair by myself most of the time because she looked, it looked good to her, you know? She's like, oh, you know, she got this. She could do her hair. And then I started doing hair for friends, a few friends and stuff like that. But it was really when I moved to Canada that I really discovered how good I was in doing hair. I had a lot of time on my hands. I didn't have any friends. So I used to just spend many hours on my head. And whoever would sacrifice their head to me, I would practice on them. And yeah, that's how it started. I started off with just braids and then twists. And then weave was the last thing I learned. I learned how to really, really do a good weave about, let's just say, not any more than 5 years ago. So mind you, I'm 28 now. I learned how to do weave really well at about 23, and I've been braiding since I was about 10, let's say. You?
Different story. Totally different story. So I was not interested in doing hair at all. So I kind of stumbled into this. So let's make a long story short. So back in 2013, the opening up of the salon. Well, that we'll talk about that a little bit after. But it wasn't a salon. It was like hair products. I sell hair products. It was a store. Mm-hmm. So one of the clients that I still have today, which was my first client, she came in because her sister told her there was a salon in the area, which was in Laval then. And when she came in, she's like, are you guys a salon? I said, no, it's not a salon. We don't do hair. We just sell products. Mm. So she had a ponytail, like the Haitian updo ponytail that you go to the weddings, things like that. And she's like, it's too big. I want to reduce it. I said, ma'am, I don't do hair. She's like, yes, you can. You do hair today. She was Haitian, apparently. She's like, you do hair today. I said, I don't do hair. So she was so sweet. And then she had her sister's husband with her. And then he knows how to sing. He's actually a really good singer. And he said, I'll sing for you if you do her hair. I said, okay. So I was scared out of my mind not to mess up this lady hair, because I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's going to find out. Like, okay, you know what? I'm just bad at this. So I did fix her ponytail. She loved it so much. Her sister came back to thank me. So how did I discover my talent? I would say it was this little missy here. Because when I met her, you want to tell her the story how we met?
Yeah, okay. We're going to tell you guys how we met. Basically, we met, she was looking for someone to work in the salon because she didn't do hair. So she, started asking people. And then eventually one of my clients asked me, hey, do you want to work in a salon? Which I answered no to because I had bad experiences already in salons. And I was like, oh, this isn't going to be any different. And I was trying to build a name for myself and all that. But she gave me her contact and I contacted her. And she is just, when she wants something, she wants it. Like, she decided she wanted me. She did not give up. And I was being a pest, okay? I was just like, no. Just a little brat. I don't want to work.
No, you should tell them that you stood me up the first time.
I stood her up, okay? Yeah. I gave her a meeting.
Uh-huh.
And when she told me it's in Laval, I'm like, Laval? I was living in Pointe-aux-Trembles. Like, Pointe-aux-Trembles is super East Montreal. You want me to go to Laval? And I don't have a car yet? Like, no. So I stood her up. I was a terrible person, yes. But eventually we did end up meeting up. And for some reason, it's so crazy, but it just clicked. Like, we didn't even really get into it. She was just like, hey, you know what? Do a head for me. Do a head for me. And then we'll see, how things go. And you'll decide what you want. So with that being said, we started working together, but I still wanted to, build my own name. And I was like, no, I don't want to work for somebody per se. And, brat behavior. So eventually, when I did realize how much I did appreciate, our bond, and we were actually building a friendship, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Like, she's sweet, and we're laughing, and she thought I was gonna be ratchet, by the way. I don't know why. Like, she heard I was from Florida.
From Miami.
And she heard I was from Miami, and she saw my picture and immediately assumed like I'll be a ratchet mess. So when she met me, she was surprised. She was like, oh, you're nice.
Okay. No, seriously, I really thought this is what, like, the meeting, I thought this is how the meeting was gonna go. Like,
discrimination.
Yeah. Let me do what?
And I was not like that. I don't talk like that, so no.
Well, I partially grew up in Miami, but I love it. I do love it. But,
yes.
Some of the girls can...
We're outspoken. Yeah. So yes, that's how it started. That's how we met, and eventually that's how we got our name, NK Hair Services. When finally we decided to basically join ourselves together, we decided, hey, you know what? Let's brand our names together, NK. So Nikki, Katiana, and then Hair Services.
Mm-hmm.
And we continued from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, because
Yes.
When to go back into the whole talent thing, so when she finally said, okay, yes, she's gonna come to work, because I don't know, I felt a connection with her when I met her, which was crazy, because I didn't really have a lot of friends in Montreal, because I moved here, no family members, not a lot of friends, and then we actually, a lot of people may not know that I'm like 4 years older than you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, who's this young girl and things like that. And then it kind of felt like I was an older sister all of a sudden. So I'm like, okay, cool. So she started doing her thing. And we had another hairstylist that used to come. And one day, a client was supposed to get braids. And she called me 5 minutes before the appointment. The client was already there saying that she's not coming in. I was scared. Because to me, client satisfaction is the biggest thing. It's like
everything.
Literally everything.
Everything.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Because I can't tell this person, and she was already doing someone else's hair. I'm like, what am I gonna say? She's like, she pulled me to the back and said, you can do this. I said, me do what? Braids? No, I'm not doing this. She's
and
like,
you should see, guys, if you have time after this video to go look at pictures of heads that Katiana has done.
Oh my God.
Mind you, this is a lady that said, no, I'm never going to do extensions. I can't do extensions. Just, anyways.
Anyway, so I told her, I didn't want to lie to her. I said, you know what? I've tried braids before on my sister's head, but it's not, I don't do hair. Well, I do hair because at that time I already had my diploma, because I went to school. A lot of people don't know about that, but I went to school. I actually went to school to do hair after the counter with the lady. So I'm like, she's like, you know what? It's fine, because I'm traveling to Jamaica tomorrow and I need this done. So do what you can. It took me a long time.
To say the least.
She was very patient. I hope she's gonna watch this video because she'll remember. So when I did her hair, after I was done, she loved it. Even me, I was shocked. I'm like, what? I braided her hair? I said, I did that? She's like, and then her like, I told you. Mm-hmm. So even though I still wasn't, I wasn't sold, so I didn't want anything to do with extensions, because I love natural hair, because that's my first love. So that's what I used to do. My clients and things like that. And I love the fact that back then I used to put perm and then do roller set. And the summertime, I love the fact that I would put someone under the dryer and go walk and then come back. And I'm like, braids, I have to stay here on someone's head for 5-6 hours? No, I'm not doing this. And after that, there was another instance where I had to do braids again, and I fell in love with doing braids, especially big braids. So
Yeah.
I've actually got to be known for big braids.
Yeah.
And now I have the satisfaction of actually looking at the finished work of a braid. I don't know. That's maybe weird.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I get the satisfaction of that.
Yeah, when your work is done, you could go back and look at it and see like, oh, I did this. It's a great feeling for sure.
I'll tell you. So, one thing that's not on this, I wanted to say something. So I wanted to ask you, what would you say you're more passionate about? Doing wigs or, not wigs, sorry. Doing braids or more like weaves?
Truly, I would say braids.
Your first love?
Yeah, braids are my first love. I feel like it's therapeutic sometimes. The only thing is, there's always a downside to something, right? Unfortunately. It's just the pain afterwards of braiding too much. Yeah, but if I had to choose, it would be braids. How about you? I think I know.
Well, it was braids before. Now I fell in love with making wigs. I am in love, guys. I don't know. I'm in love. It's bittersweet for me when it comes to wigs because the first wig that I've ever made was for my mother. She passed away with leukemia, unfortunately. When I saw her losing her hair, it's very emotional for me. I decided to make a wig for her so she could wear it. She never got to wear the wig. I did cut it off after because she passed away actually right before I actually had the time to show it to her. So yeah, when I am making wigs, I feel like I'm in a different world. I do make them using the sewing machine. I am in my zone. I have my music going and I can somehow feel closer to her. Maybe it's weird, but I can somehow feel closer to her when I do it because she used to actually make wedding dresses. And then being on the machine, it seems like the sound that I used to hear as a child of her going on. And I used to be annoying, but now it's actually soothing. So, yeah. Our next question.
Our next question. No, I love when you open up. Our next question is, so, Rion,
how did you grow your business?
Okay, yeah. So basically, how did your business come to be? And tell us about your business. So we come from, because like we said, we were separate before, coming together. We didn't just go into this and say, hey, let's open up a shop.
True.
So Katiana already opened up her shop before I met her. And I was working at home. So...
But it became a hair salon when I met you. Yeah, because I was just selling products and then people here and there. So we can say we opened it together because, it became that when we met.
Yeah, honestly. So just long story short, I was working at home. She opened up her shop. She was selling products. Like I said, basically, okay, if I had to tell my story, I was working at home for pennies. I was charging I was spending 7-8 hours on braids, small braids, and charging $40, okay?
Yeah.
I was
slavery.
Yes. And I was, trying to build up my clientele because I wanted to open up my own shop eventually. And you at the time, she opened up in Laval and she was, looking out to get people into the shop. And you were one of the very few.
Yeah, especially in Laval.
Yeah, at that time, mind you, this was 2013.
Well, August 2012, the shop was open. Mm-hmm. So we started doing hair in there back in 2013.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So in 2012, there were not a lot of places to go,
especially for natural
products.
hair, for products and things like that. We actually were one of the first in Laval.
Yes, that was selling, big name
products.
Yeah, for natural
where
hair.
you can find products.
Yeah. So when we finally merged together, that's when we really started growing the business. We started marketing.
That's when we got on Facebook.
Yeah, our biggest help
Was Facebook.
Facebook, hands down. Mind you, at that time, Instagram was big, but it wasn't as big as it is now. Facebook, promoting posts, going around, passing out flyers, harassing. We just, at one point, listen, I have to tell the story. We were in a parking lot. Katana saw this black lady. As soon, I'm just, listen, the things that we went through. She just saw a black woman. Her hair was fine, okay? But you know, sometimes when you're running up to somebody out of breath and everything with a flyer in your hand saying, hey, come do your hair at my shop, they're gonna be thinking like, dang, do I look a mess? This girl ran to this lady to give her a flyer like, hey, you know, we sell products for black hair, we do hair, you know, come see us. And I'm just looking at this lady and I'm just like, oh my God. I hope she understands this girl means well. Like, she just wants her business to grow, our business to grow.
But one of our clients that we still have till this day, I met her at the laundromat.
Yeah, there's a lot of, listen, we gave out flyers at McDonald's.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Actually, whenever we see a black woman,
yes,
you have to have, hey, how are you?
Yes.
Here's our card.
Yes.
The one at the laundry, she's like, till this day, she'll tell the story, like, how I
you have to do what you have to do. If you want your business
ran
to
her
grow,
down. You have to do what you
have to
that
do
is
what you
true.
have to do.
That is true, though.
Truly. Yeah. So,
how, like, for the whole, like, we have a different, well, I have a different side of that, like the whole business going and everything else, because, like, because I remember at one point, when my mother passed away, I didn't want anything to do with hair. I wanted to actually, I was going through a depressive moment. So, that actually was the first time I went to Nikki's house. She saw how, like, you know, I didn't care anymore. I wasn't focused or anything like that. And then you sent me a text. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said?
Not specifically, but I remember telling her, because you know what, it's very hard to watch someone you love suffer, truly. And she had to watch not only her mother suffer, but, you know, pass away eventually. And I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know how to watch my friend watch someone that she loved so much pass away like that. Yeah.
My best friend.
And I remember I gave her, you know, her time to heal. But in healing, Katiana's a very strong person and she doesn't like to show too much that she's suffering, but you could tell that she's just slowly, she closes up, like, really
Completely. Completely.
And I was like, oh my God, the shop is gonna close. The shop is gonna close. I kept telling myself this. I'm like, the shop is gonna close. The shop is gonna close. She's shutting down. And as selfish as it sounded at that time, because after I sent her the message, I felt so selfish. I don't think I ever told you that, because I'm like, I don't want her to feel like I'm just taking her moment to be angry away from her. You know what I mean?
I needed that, though.
Yeah.
I needed that.
Yeah.
I needed that.
So I sent her a message. I said, listen, basically, I know that you're hurt and you're suffering, but your mom wouldn't basically want, I remember mentioning that, and I think that's what maybe got to her. Your mom wouldn't want to see you like
she
this.
She was my biggest cheerleader.
Yeah, you know, and thank God she ended up using that pain to push through what, you know, she ended up using that pain to push through, basically. She used her pain and her scar so beautifully, and it's because of her that the shop is still open today. Like, she's always gonna say that I pushed her, but she had it.
No, you did.
She had it.
I mean, because I remember the text message. You said, I can't say it verbatim because I don't quite remember all the words, but I remember the intent behind it. You said that I don't want to be here if you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in this together.
Yeah.
If you feel like you can't anymore, I will understand, but I'm not going to come here and look at your empty chair every day and then you're not here, so I don't want to do it.
And I didn't. At that point, I didn't see.
And I rushed to her house at that day. I went
Yeah.
because I remember it was in the evening. I went to her house, and then
Yo, I was scared. Really,
so
I was scared.
I came. It was the first time I've ever been in her house. So
Yeah.
I remember we were sitting in your room on your bed.
Yeah.
And then we just talk. We just talk. If that's one thing that we can do, which is why I love this girl, is talking through our things. We just talk and talk and talk. And I promised her that day that I'm in it, I'm here, and then for her, for me, and for our clients, that we couldn't let this go. So we had to push through. So I pushed through it. So you guys have to thank her for me, if anything. So that was a little rough patches in our way, but
It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
So,
and to any entrepreneur that has ever went through something as traumatizing as losing somebody that you're so close to and that you love, especially a parent, it's very hard. It's very hard, and you can easily fall into a dark place.
You can.
Yeah, and it's
depression
very important.
Is real, guys.
Yeah,
it's real.
It's very important for people to have a support system.
Yeah.
And someone that could be there to not make you snap out of it, because you can't, but to remind you that you still have a vision that you want to, accomplish. You, and I didn't want to see her give up like that. No, not after all that we had been through already, so yeah.
So that comes to be an inspiration part. Who inspired you? And don't say it was me.
The next question is, who inspired you?
Don't even. This girl is mad talented, okay? Mad talented. I learned how to actually do a weave and then braids by watching her. YouTube wasn't that big back then. There's not really videos or things like that. It was just watching her. And she would literally tell me, okay, do it this way, do it that way. So her talent, her courage, at such a young age, her passion to push through was actually what inspired me, to be honest. Because I've watched her from my little sister to become the amazing woman that she is now. I've always told her, like, she's a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. So the inspiration, I would say she inspired me. And also remember that what my mom told me before the last few days that she could talk to me. Because I told her, Mom, you're so strong. I don't know how you do it. And she said, you haven't figured it out yet. You're stronger. And till this day, whatever I'm going through, I remember that. I remember, like, if she was that strong and she said, I'm stronger than her, I can push through anything. So, basically, yeah. So now, what... Don't get teary eyes on me now. Don't do that to me. We completely ignored the questions, did we? So, yeah. Basically, now we get to the last question. What advice would you give to upcoming entrepreneurs in your field of business?
My advice would be to not be afraid to start small. I think a lot of us now, because of social media, we just want to go 0 to 100, and people are afraid to be bad at something when they start. They're afraid to, have, I guess, failures, or to have people tell them they're not good. True. We all have a beginning. I rarely know somebody that has come up to me and said, you know what, I aced this on the first try. Don't be afraid to start small. Don't be afraid to be bad at something. And definitely don't be afraid to ask for help.
True.
You know, till this day, we're paying for courses, you know, to learn more. And nobody's perfect. We all have, you know, our different paths and journeys. And some people, it takes them a year to learn something. Some it takes a few months. Some it takes, you know, like 10 years. It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. Start small. Invest in yourself. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Invest in, you know, courses, and just perfect your craft as much as you can with what you have. But don't be afraid to start small. What would you say?
Well, I would say, I mean, everything she said, and then believe in yourself. Not everyone will believe in you at first. So believe in yourself, because if you feel that burning passion inside of you, that says everything.
Yes.
So don't let people, you know, discourage you or anything like that. Focus on your why you wanted this. Why did you start this in the first place? And then she said study your craft, which is very important, because I mean, this is a very fast moving industry that we're in. So things can change, like, you know, tomorrow. So you always have to, you know, keep up and things like that. And know that you are your only competition. Like if one thing that we do have in common is not looking at other people as competition. We welcome people we have plenty of hairstylists that comes to our salons, actually. Because we're so diverse, we haven't really go to other people's salon, but I have for things. So you are the only competition. There could be a salon next door to you. It doesn't really matter. People come for you. Your clients are going to be loyal to you because of who you are.
You have to be able to sell yourself. You know what I mean? The person next door could be, let's just say, bigger. Yeah. You know, they may have a bigger clientele and everything, but people that come to you for a reason. It may be because of your personality. It may be because your salon is cozy. It may be. Don't look at the size of your space. Don't look at what you can provide.
Correct.
You know?
And I mean, to say the least, the salon is very special to us.
Yes.
Because we talk about that a lot, how we find peace, we find joy. It doesn't matter what happened, you know, at home, what happened on the road. Once we come in through that door,
our clients, listen, it's like, sometimes I'm like, did God send these people to us for a reason? Like, we click so well with a lot of clients, honestly.
A lot of them are friends.
Yes, they become
can't even
friends.
Call them clients anymore. They're friends.
They become friends, and
like,
that's everything.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah, it is therapeutic, and you find that your day goes quicker too. True. It's crazy. Like, you don't feel like you're really working. At the end of the day, we're just like, whoa, or our bodies are tired, but we're just like, dang, you know, we had a good day. We rarely have bad days.
And you know what we talk about a lot is like the fact that we I don't know, it's the joy that we get in seeing someone out of our chair and then their walk change.
Yes. Some clients, they get up, baby, and it's like,
yeah, girl.
It's like an alter ego. Like,
or to hear that phrase, now I need to get my eyebrows done.
Yes. Oh, now I need to go get my nails done. Listen, sometimes people may feel like, okay, whatever, I'm paying this person to just do my hair. It's more than that.
Yeah.
It's more than that. When someone comes in our chairs, we are just like, even if we're tired, listen, that's one thing. It's very hard to hide when you're tired.
Yeah.
But we never, ever just look at somebody's head and be like, let me just do this girl's hair and, you know, get out my chair so I can go home. Never.
No.
Never. Ever. Listen, if I'm tired, I'm just going to tell my client, and she does the same. We walk to the back, we eat something, we sit real quick, we stretch, and then we get back to it. You know what I mean? Like, we love what we do.
We do.
And our clients make us love it even more, to be honest. Like, it's a blessing. It's really a blessing.
It is.
Yep. And the last advice I wanted to give, it came to mind while we were talking about clients. One thing that entrepreneurs need to learn is that no dollar amount is worth your reputation.
That's true.
If ever a client is very upset, didn't like your service, because not everybody is going to like your service. You have to accept that. And it's not because you're terrible. It may just be you did not give them what they envisioned. That needs to be accepted. Okay, that has to be accepted. You never want your client to feel like, I spent my money and the person didn't care, that I wasn't satisfied. Make sure that you could fix it in any way that you can. And there's many different ways that you can fix it. Rebate on the next service, you give a percentage back of the money, you give the whole amount of the money back, which hurts sometimes, but it has to be done sometimes, you know, and we've done that. We've gone through it all. You know, we've had to redo heads, we've had to give the money back. We've been through it. We've been through some stuff. You know, don't be afraid to go through that, because when the client sees that, they're gonna be like, okay, you know what, we respect the fact that these people are not money hungry, and that they are just, you know, here to provide a service and make sure that, you know, we're satisfied.
That's true.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, because we didn't want to make it longer.
Yeah, we didn't want to make a super long video, even though it's long already, you know, but we tried. So, sorry.
You know, one more thing that they don't know about us, we love going to restaurants.
Yeah, we love eating, y'all. That's one thing we forgot to say. Listen, we have driven through snowstorms. It doesn't matter. It could be -40 outside. If me and Katiana are hungry after a day of work, we are gonna go eat. Okay?
That's how we solve problems too, just so you know.
Yes. We could be mad at each other and we still gonna make it work. We're gonna go eat.
This is the response. We look at each other. You hungry?
Yeah.
I know you're hungry.
Listen, and you know what? In your workplace, make sure that you're trying to connect with the people that you work with. It's not only us two, you know. It started with us too, but
now we're
a bigger team now.
Yeah, we're a bigger team, and we love them.
Yes.
We love them. Very talented people.
To pieces.
So that's us in a nutshell.
Yes.
We didn't want to do it because we are shy people. We don't want to. We kind of like to keep to ourselves, but we promise that we're gonna open up a little bit more.
Yes.
Because we want to get to know you more. We want you to get to know us.
It's your turn. It's your turn. Tell us your story. Okay?
We want to hear it all. We want to get to know you.
Yes.
And this is the time to do it, guys. We can't work.
We have the time.
We can't work. So
yes.
Go ahead.
Tell us your story.
All right. Mwah.